Hey there, Sparkrock community. We're excited to introduce Sparkrock Ed HRP version 5.2.2612. This release is all about you, the users of Ed HRP, because it brings a range of usability and productivity improvements across areas that HR and payroll teams work in every day. Now, we've also added automation for Manitoba monthly remittance generation, helping reduce manual effort and support more consistent compliance workflows. So see the release notes for more information about that. But this video is going to focus on the tools you use all the time. When they're easier to search, easier to read, and faster to navigate, these small improvements can add up to meaningful time savings over the course of a day, a payroll cycle, or an entire school year. So in this video, we're going to show updates in Employee Spotlight, review improvements in staff management, cover updates to basic group data, and highlight a few additional usability improvements. So let's get started. First up, we've made Employee Spotlight easier to work with by keeping key employee details visible right where you need them. So the Employee Spotlight header row now displays the employee's name and employee number no matter which tab you're on, so users can always confirm which record they're viewing as they move around between the tabs. We've also improved clarity by showing both the code and abbreviation for important fields like activity, home location, and employee group. This means that users get more context at a glance without having to interpret internal codes on their own. On the compensation tab, there are now additional summary details available right on the page. Users can quickly review total compensation, benefit totals, credit loss, and hours per week without needing to jump around to gather that information. And on the Position and Assignment tab, there's now a Position Contract Code column. This gives teams better visibility into the contract type tied to each position directly from the grid. You don't have to go hunting around for it. And finally, another helpful update is the View Absences tab on the Employee Spotlight. This gives users quick, read-only access to absence details and balances without leaving the employee context they're already working in. Next, we've improved the search experience in staff management. Users can now use wildcard searching in named-based search fields, making it easier to find records even when you only know part of a name or you're not sure the exact spelling. The key is the percent wildcard, which you now see as a hint in the first and last name fields. So if we wanted to find everything that starts with certain letters, we could type JO%, and that would find every name that starts with JO. Or if we typed percent first and then LY, it would find any name that ends with LY. And finally, if you wanted to find everything containing a text string, surround it with those percent signs. So we could type %ANA%, and that would find any name that contains the phrase ANA anywhere in the name. In advanced search, we've now added known as last and known as first. This helps teams find employees using the names they're commonly known by, not just their legal names. So now you can finally find Bob on first try. And finally, in this area, staff management search results now show both code and abbreviation for fields like employee group, home location, and activity. This makes results easier to read and easier to validate quickly. We've also made a couple of terminology improvements in basic group data to make setup clearer. The field previously named calendar code is now labeled group exception calendar, which better reflects its purpose. And the service hour per day field label now uses province appropriate pension terminology. So in Ontario and BC, it will show TPP service hours per day. In Alberta, it will show ATRF, and in Manitoba, it will show TRAF. This helps align the wording in the system with terminology users expect to see in their province. We've added filtering to employee pay history. This makes it much easier to narrow down large result sets and find the specific pay records you need. We've done the same thing for the recurring payments employee screen. Users can now filter directly within the grid to review recurring payment details more efficiently. And in position control management, advanced search now includes a reports to filter. This makes it easier to find positions that report to a selected position, which is especially helpful during reviews, audits, and reorganizations. And finally, by popular request, the printed version of the employee pay stub now includes the employee's name, ID, and address on each page, not just the first one. So that's a wrap on Sparkrock Ed HRP version 5.2.2612. This release is all about removing everyday friction by improving visibility, adding search and filtering capabilities, and making key screens clear to use. Be sure to review the release notes in full details, and thanks so much for watching.